But yeah,
I don't understand it.
You don't.
I don't. Why am I talking? Shut up.
Shut up, Si.
Get out.
Just get out.
So we're now on to the business section.
Yes, part 2.
Part 2.
We've split this up because the first video ended up being like half an hour long.
Yeah, we got talking. Business and programming section.
Yeah.
Presume. Right. So the first question is: what is the most magical function in programming you have ever encountered? Magical as in does some crazy stuff.
I tried to answer this one in the comments. I'm not quite sure what you mean about like a function doing something magical and crazy. Because to me, functions are like small things that do like kind of relatively small tasks. They don't,
Like when you click save, it opens up that save box.
Kind of. There might be a function that does something to do with that. But yeah, there's not been anything. There's not been like one function where I've just thought, wow, that's like a real awesome function, or like a real time saver, or does something really cool. Because I mean, anyone who does programming will know like functions do like sort of small things, and you combine them all together to do what you want. If there was one function that did like loads of stuff, it wouldn't be any good because some people wouldn't want it to do all that stuff. They only want a bit of it. So that's why you have functions that do lots of different small things. So I can't really think of any, I'm afraid.
But nothing magical.
Nothing magical. I mean, like I said in the comment, I've written functions myself that have done lots of weird and wonderful stuff, like just to annoy people. I used to just run them on people's computers at work to annoy them. People would be sat there working, and you suddenly just hear them go, "Oh, for fuck's sake, Chris!" and I'd just be sat there giggling. And I'd just like remotely run some program on mine that starts hiding all the windows and flashing everything and making the screen go black and flipping upside down and stuff. So that was fun. But I don't know if that's really what he's asking. So yeah, not a great answer to that one.
Next question: what's your next business goal?
I don't really have one. I guess like, there's a lot of different goals that you have, like small goals and big goals and things. A small goal for me would just be to release more programs. I don't release as much as I would like to actually get finished and stuff. Like I'll start working on things, and then I'll have to do something else, or then I'll just spend the day replying to emails and stuff like that. I don't get as many like in my head at the start of the year or whatever. I have like, right, I'm going to finish this program, and this program and this program by the end of the year. It gets towards the end of the year and I've only done like one of them. So that my goal would just be to kind of do things a bit quicker and get things finished. What about you?
Yeah, tricky one really. I mean,
it's quite hard to answer, isn't it?
Yeah. In terms of actual business goals,
I don't know if they're talking about like business growth and stuff rather than actual work. I
mean, because you always tend towards trying to grow the business.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, you want it.
Unless you're sort of trying to access a new market or. That sort of. But yeah, no, I do. Yeah, I've got another idea to launch another business, which is probably one of the goals for this year. And this is probably my 9th or 10th business.
Keep at it.
I'm sort of more. Yeah, I'm like spread betting. Machine gun it down. One of them will pick up. But it's sort of what I like to do. I just like to come up with ideas and see how it goes.
Because that's like one of the most fun parts, isn't it? The start of it, when you've got a new idea and you want to get it off the ground and everything. You want to see how much people respond to
it. Do you ever plan on taking on a different career? If you wasn't doing your current programming job, what would you be doing, and what industry would you like to be involved in?
I guess it's a bit of a cop out, but still working in IT. I guess that's what I did for 5 or 6 years. I can't remember how many years, but before I started programming. And I still find that interesting, and obviously my programs are still aimed at IT stuff. So yeah, IT for me. What was there another part of that? Oh, do you ever plan on a different career though? I thought about this the other day, like a long term, as in like in 20 years time. Like I don't know, I can't see myself still programming because I just kind of feel like I would have kind of lost like relevance and stuff and know what to make in 20 years. That's a long time, you run out of ideas.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I honestly don't know what I'll be doing in like 10, 20 years time.
Come back in 10 years.
Yeah, see if
YouTube's
even still a thing by then.
That's it.
I don't know.
It changes, doesn't it?
Yeah. What about you? What career would you do?
I've really got into economics recently.
You do like business and financial stuff and that.
So I think I'd probably study economics and maybe,
like sort of do like a stock market kind of job, or just like economics as in.
Yeah, probably like advisor for the council or the government.
Right, that kind of
something like that. It interests me.
Cool.
So, next question. How did you stay motivated and focused on reaching your goals?
I I actually bought a picture of an R8 and stuck it behind my monitor. I got you a picture of a GTR as well, didn't I?
You did, yeah.
I did. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not good at staying motivated, to be honest. I know that sounds weird because obviously I've ended up getting the car that I wanted, but I do have a lot of days where I'm just like, just not motivated. I guess just time and just sticking at it. Like, you know, I started selling my first program, I started writing programs like 4 years ago or something. So it's taken 4 years to get to this point, where I've only just bought the R8 a couple of months ago. So just sticking at it, really. I'm not the most motivated person, but if you spend enough time doing something, I guess I kind of go through phases. Like, I will sometimes be like, really, you know, this week I'm just going to just spend all my time just programming away and just get this finished and whatever. But then other weeks, you know, I don't want to do anything. So I don't know. I don't feel like I am the most motivated person, but as long as you've got the right kind of, you know, the right. Again, we're going to do a separate video on like time management, kind of like making sure you're spending your time on the right things. I guess I was lucky enough that I was spending my time on the right thing, like from the off.
Yeah.
And yeah, just kind of.
I think it's sticking with it, isn't it? You know, if it doesn't work overnight.
No,
know,
that's
and it doesn't take months either. It takes years,
Yeah.
and you just I think the best way to stay motivated is to have that end goal, to have the R8, to have a Lamborghini, and you know, you're constantly going towards it.
Yeah, I think that's the best way. Just to think of what you want, like think of the car or whatever it is that you're saving for. Just keep thinking of that, really. Yeah.
So next one, do you think a career like yours is easily achievable with time and effort?
Kind of. I guess we kind of just covered that, but it's with enough time and effort.
Anything, yeah.
But I wouldn't say easily. I don't think any career, at least any career that makes you a decent amount of money, is easy. Or even a career that doesn't make a decent amount of money. And there are very few jobs that are actually easy. Even jobs that people think are easy, if you actually do them, you realise how much work is involved.
You see the videos that go and make $3,000 a month. Selling trading or something.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Like that's not easy. Like one of the guys I was talking to who's watched our videos. He used to do a lot of trading and like stocks and stuff. And he said he basically just had like no life for about 2 years, or whatever, just learning the whole sort of system and everything. But yeah, so anything you can do almost anything if you've got enough time and effort, but I wouldn't say easily. So
no,
I guess that answers that question.
Okay, next question. How long had you been learning to program before you started using it to make things such as computer programs?
I don't know. Like, obviously, as you're learning programming, you're making computer programs all the time that you're learning. Like even within the first day, you're making a program. That's the whole point of it. But I don't know. I already explained in a previous video, the one about how I could afford this car. The sort of timescales, like between me learning to program like in my spare time when I was like 17 or whatever, giving up a few times, coming back to it, and then eventually after like a couple of years getting the hang of it, and then releasing some programs just for free, and then releasing programs that I was charging for. So yeah, it took a long time. And for people who are saying they're struggling with it, I think that was on the end, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Struggling with it. Yeah, it is hard. I gave up a lot. To be honest, the other day I started looking at learning Java, and gave up on that. I already know a programming language, so it's a lot easier for me. But
because then people say it's similar to learning like a foreign language.
I've heard that, but I don't really think it is, because a foreign language, you're just trying to say things that are on your mind or whatever. Say,
comment ça va?
Yeah, exactly.
Ça va bien?
Bonjour. Ça va bien, merci. You're just trying to say things like that you want to say, whereas in a programming language, there's a hell of a lot of like logic to it as well. Like, it's not enough to just know the right words. They've got to be like in the exact right order, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But like, there's so much. Like, learning the language is one part of it, like learning what things do what and learning what functions to call when and keywords and stuff like that. That's one part of it, and that's kind of the easier part. Then there's the actual making it do exactly what you want, and that's that's obviously how bugs end up in programs, is when you've not quite thought about it well enough, you've not got it right, and you end up with like my programs are relatively small compared to most programs that people use, and there's still thousands of lines of code, so there's a lot of potential for things to go wrong. And that's the hard part, is making sure it all works exactly, making sure you've done enough error checking and thought of every scenario and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a pain in the ass. Yeah, stick with it. Stick with it.
Yeah.
I honestly hated it for a while, and gave up a lot. But if you stick with it, and learn the terminology. That's the most important thing, because otherwise people will be giving you help or whatever, or you'll be reading tutorials and stuff, and you won't understand what they're telling you. So learn exactly what things mean. If somebody gives you an answer on a forum or whatever, and you don't quite understand it, ask what, what is an overloaded method. If they say use this overload or something, understand what that is. Don't just think, oh, I don't get that bit, I'll move on. Because you need to understand the terms before you can really learn the language properly. But yeah, I might do like a separate video on something like that, I don't know.
See.
And quickly, just because I don't think this is in here, but I got asked it a lot, is what programming language do I use? I use VisualBasic.net. That's the first language that I learned.
That website.
No, I know, it's so annoying, isn't it? What a shit name, calling something .net.
.net.
There's two, well, there's more than two, but there's two main .net languages, C#.net and VB.net, VisualBasic.net. I chose VB just because it was easier to learn and read and understand. So yeah, if anyone's looking for a language to start with, that is a good language to start with, because it is relatively plain English compared to C# and other stuff, and C++, which I gave up with. C++ was too hard. So, yeah.
Sweet. We've kind of covered this, but how did you originally get visible for your programs other than just uploading them?
Yeah, we covered that already, yeah.
It seems that while what you do is less saturated compared to the app development for games, you also have a smaller audience. How should I weigh market saturation versus potential audience?
How you should weigh it, I can't really answer that. Like, you've got to weigh it yourself, and you've got to decide for yourself if there's enough people to warrant you making a game for those people. That's kind of up to you.
But what we've often talked about niche markets.
Yeah.
And how valuable
that you can make a hell of a lot of money from a niche market. Even I guess that's kind of what he's asking. My stuff is aimed just at IT administrators. You wouldn't think there were enough IT administrators that want these tools to be able to make a lot of money from it. But there are. Like, if you think how many businesses, and I thought that for a long time as well, I didn't expect to make much money from it because of that exact reason. I thought, well, sure, there's not. Like, I know there's a lot of IT administrators in the world, but the percentage of them that are actually looking for a program that I've made and that actually like the program I've made compared to competitors' programs, stuff like that, I thought it's quite a small percentage. There's not that many people, but especially if it's to last like years, those doing.
But that also as well, because the bigger the potential audience, normally the bigger the market.
Exactly.
So
there's so many.
It's harder to stand out.
Yeah.
We're in a niche, in a smaller market. You can stand out and you can offer something that no one else is offering.
Exactly, and that's what I've said to somebody else recently in a comment, is that competitors are going to be like your biggest problem. If the more competitors there are, the more choice people have got to go elsewhere, and the more chance there is somebody else's product is better than yours, or cheaper than yours, or whatever. So the less competitors you have, the better. But obviously, if there's no competitors, that might just mean that there's no market for this product kind of thing. Yeah. So yeah, niche markets. I think again that warrants a separate video to be honest, talking about that, because we've warranted. We've waffled on too much about that. I'll probably edit half of what we just said out, because we're going to do a separate video, because it takes a bit of explaining. But
so this next question is, financially speaking, it seems you're much better off than someone working as a software engineer at a big tech company like Yahoo, etc. It may be possible that some of them are smarter than you, yet
definitely.
Yet you're the one with the R8. What differentiates you from all those other similarly intelligent people?
The one thing, and I was one of those people, and I still would be if I hadn't started programming. I'd still be just working in IT, which not there's anything wrong with that. I quite enjoyed it, but I wouldn't have an R8. The one thing is that I've started my own business rather than being employed by someone else. That's if anyone wants to get like a more expensive car than most people your age can afford, like an R8, whatever, at this sort of age, you realistically, I'm not saying it's impossible, but you're not going to be able to afford it if you just work in a normal job. You kind of need to start your own business. That's the only way you can make a big amount of money in a relatively short time. It'll still take years, but like, there's no way, no matter how good I was at IT, there is no way I would be in a job that paid well enough for me to be able to afford my house and this car and my other car and my motorbike, but at this age. Because if you think like an employer doesn't want to pay you like £100,000 a year or whatever, you're not going to get paid. I remember I used to think like, if I got paid 50 grand a year or whatever, that'd be like amazing. That'd be like, and the chances of that happening was so slim. Like working in, I used to get paid 25 grand a year, I think. But even like the people who are above me, they probably only got paid like 40 or something like that. It's kind of like a maximum. I don't know, but
this
like,
is
you're never
my
gonna make
problem
that
with
much
that is it depends what you want in life.
Yeah, that's
If you
true.
don't go on holiday and you don't want watches, you don't want Gucci handbags,
Oh, I do.
yeah, then you can, like you say, you can save up over years
Yeah, if
to
you're
achieve
good at,
it.
if you're good at saving, yeah, I guess I should. But like from that point of view, even if you'd saved up from your first job when you were like 17, you probably still wouldn't be able to afford an hour rate at 25.
No.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you can save up, and like if you've got a decent pay job, say you're getting paid like 40 grand a year or something, yeah, I'm sure you can save up over quite a few years.
But it'd be a lot more difficult than
Yeah, like
trying to get it to 25.
Yeah, like I mean, I saved up for this in like a year and a bit or something. There's no way you could do that in like a normal employed job.
No.
So yeah, I guess the difference is, even though other people might be a lot smarter, and I'm sure there are a lot of much smarter people, the difference is that I started my own business, so I get to keep 100% of the profits rather than just getting what somebody else is willing to pay for me. So that's the reason why I've got an R8 and somebody else who's smarter than me might not have, I guess. Is that business
And that
one
wraps
done?
up business, yeah.